Hello and welcome to Shop Talk. We're back, motherfuckers. First things first, we're back, motherfuckers. If you guys
we left something behind.
There you go. Back like cooked crack. I'm
not like cooked.
That shit never went out of style, though.
I mean, lumpy a little bit.
Yo, man, one of my
Lumpy,
favorite things I've ever had. My favorite line of questions I've ever had to give somebody was, "Is there water in that vial? Is there cocaine in that vial? Is there baking soda in that vial? Are you heating it up? Does a rock come out? That's crack. I don't care if you call it freebase, it's crack."
Yeah, that was one of your former coworkers.
Yeah, but just the fact that I had to walk them through what they were doing and go, "That's crack."
That's crack.
Yeah, I think you gave them the recipe is what happened.
Oh, no, they already knew it.
They already knew.
Anyway,
On that note.
So yeah, if you're familiar with No Lies Just Bullshit and you're familiar with the podcast that we do over there, I always say the number I always use is 150. I feel like we did 150
Fuck if I know.
shop talks, but I don't really know. That's just been my guess. We did a lot of shop talks over there.
No idea.
And now we're sort of, revamping it a little bit, but this time we're letting you folks in the room. That way you can see the images without having to look them up.
Tons of fun, though. We had a fucking ball in that little spot.
That's the only reason I want to do this.
So much good shit.
So much bullshit and laughs. And
Fucking old heavy hands playing in that joint,
Yeah,
too.
dude.
It's awesome.
Shouts to Nate. So this is just the same thing, only there's a fucking camera in here, and we're going to give it to you on YouTube. But other than that, as always,
Same difference.
we get here, we get together to talk about tattoos that we love, tattoos that make the game better and that sort of push everything. And so we're here to just talk about the ill shit, nothing more, nothing less.
The good stuff.
As always, I'm here with Mr. Andrew Connor.
Hello.
And Mr. Chris Porter.
Hello.
Y'all doing all right?
Yes.
It's been a long
We're
time.
both whoa out. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
We'll roll out.
But fucking great day, though. Fucking Porter started a big-ass front and stuff.
Porter started dragging this big.
It's giant.
This fucking big.
At least.
Yeah.
On the man, the myth, the legend, Derek.
Little Derek.
Derek took it like a G.
He did.
Oh, yeah.
Dude. He did.
He always does.
He had that John Wayne, that Clint Eastwood 1,000-yard stare for sure.
I'm fucking...
He was somewhere else for a little while, too.
Before y'all started, I came in the door and just looked down the aisle, and he's just standing there shirtless, and you're cutting up stencil pieces. And that look on his face then was kind of like I'm here. I know I got this thing to do.
He's focused.
You got to get in that frame of mind to do a whole line your whole front
Fucking A.
by Porter. You know what I mean? It's
By anybody.
but
especially.
Today was one of the times I started the first line and I went, "Oh, that's right. Like, this is just, I've drawn, like, at this point, Andy knows what I'm talking about. At this point in the game, I've drawn every inch of that design 5 times. Yeah. At minimum.
By the time it's time to do it.
But that muscle memory is so good, though, man. To do it that way, when you sit down to do it, you're like, okay, now we can get down to it.
And I launch right into it and I just go. And I got about 3 lines into it and I went, 3 lines in that were pretty long. And I was like, oh, that's right. Derek just started his whole front. And I'm just like, this is like, the tattoo I did yesterday and the day before and the day
But
before.
it's the job, right?
Yeah, it's the job. But I had to
You guys
stop
were stepping
and go.
along, though, man.
I was like,
It's
thank
awesome.
you so much. And he was like, no problem. I was like, are you ready? And he goes, yeah, you already started. I go, I know, but I never asked you if you were ready.
I was back here doing something. He walks back, and I'm like, you're halfway through that outline already? He's like,
Fuck yeah, dude.
He just kind of went, yeah, we're moving.
He put his head down and fucking charged with it.
But now the reason I say it's the jobs is I saw this clip the other day, and it was Ed and Lyle talking. And Ed was talking about being on the pike, and he was like, and the jobs would come in. He was talking about the hours would come, the jobs, and I just always thought, anytime a tattooer, older tattooer calls tattoos jobs, it's just tough guy shit. It's just fucking ill. Somebody else, when I was doing that podcast with Kevin, he said Buddy Mine called them jobs too, which is fucking cool.
It's cool with that booking stuff. I didn't really know that much about that, guys. It's awesome to dig in on new old information.
All right, guys, y'all ready to cover the ill shit?
Yep.
All right, I'm starting with this Steve Boltz back piece. We all know Steve Boltz is a murderer. This further solidifies that. I gotta get in. I'm about to describe it like an asshole, like we used to do down the street.
Yeah, you don't need to.
I don't need to.
You don't need to. Everybody can see this.
But so when I look at Steve Boltz, and by the way, I just noticed the Yosemite Sam on the arm. That's super dope.
Really? That's the first thing I noticed. I didn't even know there's a back piece.
Well, looking at looking at the web around the top made me notice the snake on the other side. But that's not what we're here for. But I just been looking at this thing and okay.
I was gonna say before we really launch into this, can we just acknowledge the collection? There's a Japanese sleeve, a full back traditional, and then like a nice collection of like just one shots on that arm that are all.
I mean, they're all top notch.
Yeah, everything is like I think
cool.
that's a butt with a cactus coming out of it or something. But either way you go about it, like it's a insanely nice collection.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of those.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just realized like what he had on him.
No, it's all ill, and we often do that. But when I think of Steve Boltz tattoos, I think of shading. I think his shading is what makes the shit look tough and makes it look heavy.
Yeah,
and this is absolutely no exception to that.
I knew you would dig that thing the first time I saw it because it had a religious iconography and a fucking big gnarly skull.
Yeah.
And what were you explaining?
And
yesterday?
then we were talking about that where the crucifixion took place, right? Is Golgotha Hill, which means skull.
Oh yeah. And that's why they always put the skull in the paintings.
Yeah.
As a reference to that to that place. Yeah.
I always get Gethsemane and Golgotha mixed up. Golgotha Hill is.
Yeah, you know, motherfucker, that's right.
But I mean, I think that's a great juxtaposition too, though. Religious iconography and then a big gnarly skull.
That stuff always makes me
tough
happy
as
when you
fuck.
have the two together. And anytime I've ever talked to you about doing something, I'm like, well, can you just make it creepy and religious? Can you make it a Reaper and a Mary or whatever?
Religious and gangster as fuck.
Right. That's the stuff. It paired, it just looks so much more dangerous, and that's what tattoos are supposed to do. They're supposed to look dangerous.
Yeah, that covers it for sure.
I love the fucking birds in the bottom of the skull.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
It's
that's
ominous,
my favorite
dude.
part.
That's
It's
ominous.
ominous.
Yeah.
And then just because I love texture a lot, it looks like texture on the jawbone. I know that it's not. But
Just
to me,
his
it
pepper,
feels like
dude.
it.
His pepper is so fucking nice, though. Look at that.
I mean, yeah, if you look at it, like if you zoom in on the bigger skull, it honestly looks like a hand-sized skull.
So
Just
good.
done
Look at that.
a full back.
That's what.
Look at that
That's
on the bridge
what.
of that nose. That's a confidence of just a fucking serious whip in just the right direction. Man, it looks good.
What a traditional tattoo done large should look like the small version, in my opinion.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
it shouldn't vary from like how it's done, palm size or hand size.
Yeah,
in my opinion, to pull it off right, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And also, what I love, his pepper's dope and all that. He didn't overdo the pepper, and he didn't underdo the solid black. There's tons of solid black in there, which gives it its fucking weight and makes it just
huge contrast.
there's a weight to that while if he did it all more peppered, it would look smoky and spookier.
Mm-hmm.
This looks fucking.
It's graphic as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing grabs you by the boo boo for sure.
The eyes and then plus the garment on Christ, that's just fucking.
I like the limited color
Limited palette,
too.
man, fucking kills it. We were talking the other day about how much we love his pinup girls and how he does the same sort of flesh tones. You know what I mean? It's so heavy, but it's in just the right places, so it's perfect.
I showed this tattoo to Sarah today, and I was like, she's like, "Have you made your picks already?" And I said, "Yeah, let me show you the first one." And I showed her this, and she was like, "Oh, that's so fucking tough." And I was like, "Have you seen Steve Boltz Girls?" And she's like, "I'm not sure." And I showed him the one where it's like the '80s bathing suit, the red.
Shit's so good.
And as always, for folks listening, if you don't already, you just gotta go to Steve Boltz's page and consume it all because it's all.
Yeah,
And he's at Bob Roberts'
Crazy
place
fire.
now too, which is really cool.
Oh yeah, Spotlight.
Yeah, I think that's
It
awesome.
says
That's
it on
such a
the
cool spot. Fucking
This gray.
bullet holes in the flash,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a real deal.
This gray built up over here. Like I like that there's a light source. It adds a complexity to it.
Yeah, the whole thing's bananas.
I love it because it's super classic, but it's rendered out a bit too. You know what I mean? It's got the real stripped down bits, but it's also got some pretty fucking rendered out soft grays.
Go back down to the bottom. So I don't know what city that is, but there's palm trees there. You know what I'm saying? Got a little bit of purple in the mountains right there. I didn't notice that prior to that either.
Mm.
Yeah, man, that shit is.
And the fucking spikes at the bottom.
Ew.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's a big winner. Big winner. Shouts to Steve Boltz. Follow him if
Absolutely.
you don't. I'm sure you do. If you don't, you're living on a fucking different planet. Hey, see what you got, dog.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea what.
Everyone
which one.
takes you got
I
it.
think I got Porter next.
You got him out of order. Go,
I got
go
him
get
out of order.
him.
Did all
There you
that
go.
work.
All right, there you go.
So we had. I saw it on Dana Brunson's page, but that Shotsiegorman passed today, and so that always makes me reflect like how much of an influence somebody had, you know.
Yeah.
And with this one, it was a fucking biggie, you know. Like when the first time I saw this thing, it definitely caught me. Of just it's so fucking epic, and it's so striking.
And it's so ahead of its time. So just briefly, for folks that are watching, Shotsiegorman is a tattooer out of New Jersey who's been around for a very, very long time. He's a contemporary of the greats from the 70s. And, he was noted for doing things a little more leaning toward artistic or fine art stuff and less toward like traditional American tattooing. And he got some flack for that, and he also broke a ton of ground for that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he had the respect of Ed. He had the respect of the big dogs. My man down in Southern Maryland, Tom Beasley, like they're in the same. They're in the same era. You know what I mean? The store's like is like bringing a little different flavor to the game, but doing it so well that you couldn't argue with it. So that's just 100%. A little background on Shotzi.
Yeah.
And then this image, Connor was looking at it earlier. Said it was completed in the early 90s.
It is. It's a big giant portrait of Charles Lindbergh, of course, and who is kind of a controversial figure and stuff as well, good, bad, and otherwise. But it's such a fucking giant, just big open back. And I remember years ago, it doesn't say on the post on that one, but the guy that was wearing it went by Flying Ace and was a tattooer as well. But he was also a pilot, I think. But this thing, like, just the sheer epic size of it made me really rethink, like at that time I had just started messing with doing portraits and stuff,
Right.
And I had never considered one that sort of proportion. But I also, of course, I've always been a huge fan of like Philip Lou and stuff. And so it's like smashing those two worlds together a little bit, kind of made me rethink like, well, how do you get a giant field of soft gray like that, Like how do you get somebody through that and make it consistent?
And with Philip, he was doing faces that big. They weren't necessarily a known face, right?
Yeah, for sure. It wasn't a portrait.
It was high and it was
not,
fucking, it wasn't a remake of a something.
He's done portraits, but is not a portrait guy. He's not a fan of it.
But just the scale he was doing.
Yeah.
And we know that Philip was like early huge mags. I don't know about Shotzi.
I don't.
He was
Yeah,
big
dude.
boy mags?
I wouldn't think they were that big at the time.
I wouldn't either.
You know what I
Coming out of
mean?
New
Like
Jersey, you know what I mean?
maybe a fucking 9 or a 15 or something. Maybe I don't know. It's hard to say.
Well, because in those days, if you're building your own needles and you can make a jig and you can build a big ass mag,
you could.
But how are you going to get a fucking tip for it?
I mean, you could just make a new tip.
You go to a
for
machinist
sure.
or whatever.
You could do it. You could do it.
There's a million ways you can do it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what he did or not. I wish I did know.
Either way, man, I'll say about this what I always say about gray, black, and gray stuff is that the blacks are black and the grays are in tones.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of negative space as well, but like the fucking texture of the wool on the inside of the hat and stuff.
Yeah.
Dog.
Dude, well, I haven't.
And
This thing
imagine
was
if there was
published
a great
a lot.
photograph of it.
It was published a lot. There's some
Yeah.
great photos and magazines of that thing, but geez, Louise, man, like it was so good, and it just really caught me. That one is burned in my memory.
They're like the divot in the upper lip, Yeah. And then the shading off on the white side, that just one.
Yeah, I mean it appears simple, but it's fucking
Couldn't be
right
further
on.
from
Man. Yeah, exactly. Couldn't be further from it.
Yeah, R.I.P. Shotzi.
Yeah,
No matter
100%.
what you think, you can't deny his impact.
I don't know, dude. That's another thing too.
Could
Like,
be nothing. It could be like we gotta do
it
it
seemed,
tonight.
but it seemed like to see the fresh pics of it, it looked like they covered a lot of ground pretty quick. So I don't know, man.
Yeah. The fresh pics you can see the needle marks more on the cheek and stuff, right?
Yeah, I think so.
think so.
But like, I only vaguely
I've been
recall
looking
it.
at
It's been
this-
so long.
I've been looking at this tattoo since 1995.
Yeah,
6.
100%.
Like
Yeah.
you said, it's been published a bunch, and it's been published in anniversary editions, and it's just a legendary tattoo. And shouts, good job on picking that.
Well, that's the one that always stands out to me. Whenever I would hear his name, that's what I would think of.
Yeah.
And it wasn't what he was known for. He did a lot of different stuff. He did a lot of color stuff, you know? But that, for whatever reason, was fucking burned in my head that, like, that's the dude that did that, you know?
Absolutely. Well, I'm saying just picking it today is all class.
But that's like, I mean, we always talk about how striking image is the most important part of it. I mean, because just, all the openness, soft grays in the face. It's very, like, high contrast. He could beat it up in the sun for years.
Doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, it would still look like that.
Yeah.
He's a fucking biker. He wants you to get that a little closer to you, P. You know, if that dude's a biker and a tattooer, he's going to fucking
Is that
beat it up.
right? You want to say?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's so much better than the laptop.
Yeah, I was leaning over.
Yeah, all of us like.
Well, we had this screen for a little while for Shop Talks.
Yeah, but it was turned towards you. We couldn't fucking see that thing.
Well, you know what, man? That's just how it goes sometimes. Y'all have phones, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, I wasn't complaining. I never complained about it. I would just
You
fucking
never
stand
did.
up and lean over. I don't give a fuck.
But yeah, man, that's a great pick, and good on you for picking it today. P, you about ready? You changing the draw?
Shit, he's making it rain.
Pockets.
Can't talk tats with pockets full.
Hell no.
goodness.
I might have to take my shirt off.
Uh-oh. Might have to go live in here.
So I picked one by Julian Bass. He works at brand name with Zuck, and you can. I mean,
You know,
this
it makes
dude's
sense. As soon
work.
as you say that, it makes sense.
This dude's work. What's his? The guy that works 2 doors down.
That Trevor guy?
Jake.
Jake.
No, Jake. That guy.
That guy.
He turned me on to Julian's work a couple years ago, and I went down a rabbit hole again today just to double check his shit, and he does oil paintings that will fucking make your nose bleed. They're so tweaky. Yeah. And then he'll do stuff like this where it's like just power, just straight fucking
It's bananas,
power.
yo. The only thing that's talking to me that I got to get out is the skin cut flames on the fucking border, like the cut in joints. Yeah,
yeah.
the skin, fucking ill.
The tribal pattern in the blood that's coming out of the neck. Oh, I love this tattoo so fucking
Dude,
much.
when he was loading that up, I totally thought it was a fucking painting.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a tattoo.
Well, this person looks like they have the perfect skin.
They
to
do.
wear something that's loud.
Man, it's so loud.
And,
So strong.
You know that's like a single pass, like 14 round. I mean, it's all like it's just it's
Ill.
Yeah, it's ill, but it's like just the like, you know, we talk about it with Zuck's work a lot. It's just the right amount of information. Mm-hmm. Like Keplinger's work, George Archer, Josh Brown. Like it's you know, like when you say like strip it down, like you're always afraid of like taking out like tweaky things or like certain details that you feel have to be in there, but when you distill it and still keep that vibe, that's what's important. And that's, I mean, this head dead in the center with the eyeball falling out of it is so fucking cool.
It's crazy.
The color palette, yo, that green is bananas with the black behind it and the and running throughout it. You know what I mean? But that green is like, I don't know what color that green is, but it's like
Heavy duty.
it's good and it pushes the whole thing. It's fucking ill. And
Yeah, this is like one of those tattoos that like when you see it in person, you're like, oh, you're that guy. Okay, you're that guy.
forever. Yeah.
Forever. You're that guy.
You can't help it, man. I've gotten the at the bar, somebody look at my hands and go, "Oh, you got those?" Motherfucker, right? You know, but yeah, man.
200 years ago, I got that.
The best experience I had with that, I had two great experiences with that. When little Dave got tattooed by you, and he was showing us some of his tattoos, and he just kind of looked at me and he grinned real big, and he went, "So I'm this guy," and he showed me the MO from grime on his ribs, and I just lost it.
Yeah, that thing's crazy. Like the
And then the other one
Dragon
was
King or something.
meeting Jeff Houston in California, and he was like, "I have the Jeff Rasher tattoo." I was like, "What Jeff Rasher tattoo?"
Yeah, there's more than one for me.
Yeah, and he pulls up his shirt and he's got the puke rocker.
Oh yeah.
And immediately
That's
I was
the
like,
that's the Jeff. He was right.
Yeah.
He was right for sure. He was right. Yeah.
It's a good.
oh my god, that tattoo is amazing.
This tattoo's amazing, man.
Yeah.
You know, and y'all know me, like style wise, I probably wouldn't have picked this, but I'm super stoked you did because it's a fucking ill tattoo.
Yeah, like those
That thing
little
is raw power.
fucking gnarly
Oh, it's tough
toes.
as fuck. Yeah, like the lower back right there, like the
Look at that. toenail coming up. And then, oh man, there's just like so many jagged. It's
And
dangerous.
Like the underside of that foot, P, where you can see the under go up a little bit. Other way, the other up. Yeah. See how you see the bottom of his toes right there?
Mm-hmm.
That shit's ill, man.
The foot's behind.
Yeah.
Right behind the
Dude,
knee. Yeah, that's
shine
stinky.
on like the bottom of the foot.
I
And
love
then
that
the toes
knee
are
on,
underneath.
the knee on the rock, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
it's like can we see towards the top? Like just zoom out, please. Word. Yeah, that knee down like just really shows like submission. Like he's losing. He's not doing real well.
Oh, with that and the bite on the throat, that'll do it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're starting from the bottom up.
Yeah, that's proper fuck, no doubt. You got an arm bar, you got a fucking chomp to the goozle pipe.
Man,
You're not
mentioned
doing
the
well.
knee on the rock. Both rocks are also
Those rocks are awesome.
fucking tough. I don't know if
fuck
it's
with
two
those
rocks or it's one that stretches behind, but man,
The underneath. of
the
that-
lower rock, the shape of it,
dude.
and the fucking
Yeah.
black cutback thing. I don't know.
The thing. Oh.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Son. That fucking
But
yeah. That thing's ill. I'm glad you chose
It'll
this.
flip you.
It'll flip it. Yeah,
Flip you for real.
yeah. Colors, it's all nailed. But the cut in flames, bro. It's still like when
I
I
love
look
that.
away from it, I'm like, I don't know what you call it, but yeah.
It keeps pushing your eye into the center. It's so smart. And I also like that like the subject matter fits, but it's not pushed so far to the edge that like the elbows at the top, the heel, and the knee aren't
It
stretched
still fits
out.
in the perimeter.
Yeah, it's got
totally
like
does.
an edge around it.
Let's also look at the shape of the person.
Yeah.
And how perfectly the fucking shape of the tattoo fits that hourglass shape of that individual.
Yeah, dude.
How fucking ill is that?
The elbow on the shoulder is just as far out as it ought to be.
Yeah,
like where
It's got the like diagonal on
The
the
way
opposite.
it tucks, man, it's perfect.
It's cool, man.
Because it's
That's
also
cool.
like the narrowest part of their body is also the narrowest part of the the knees and the fucking narrowest part of
Yeah, it's where the
those
pinch
two
is.
fingers
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit is fucking dope, son.
Love it.
Fucking great pick.
Oh man, how gnarly the shoulder blades are right there.
And,
I just in that tribal, I can't get enough of that tribal. Like I just think that's so fucking cool.
the flames in the back behind the flame on that left shoulder.
Yeah.
Fucking ill, son. Yeah, all that's fucking fire. Not,
Pun
Yeah.
intended.
yeah. You got me, son. You got me, son. Yeah. Good pick, fellas. Man, fucking here we are.
Boom.
Right back in the fucking groove.
It don't take long.
Does not take long.
Corey
So
apparently has been eaten up with bed bugs or something over here.
Dude,
He's
I
been
got-
scratching and
what you got,
itching.
dog?
I don't know what it is. Something bit
Cheers.
me or
He might at that.
eczema. Who knows?
Josh,
Dry it
come,
out,
come
bro.
pee on Porter's leg.
That time of year.
What? Damn.
Put what on Porter's leg?
Pee on it.
You better
pee
buy
on-
us dinner first. Jesus.
All right, boys.
It's not that I want to
like
pee
a
on
jellyfish
you.
thing.
I want to watch somebody else pee on
Oh,
you.
I don't want to watch it.
See, that's where y'all get crazy. I don't
we just
understand that
resolve
weird
it.
stuff. So yeah, are you good?
You're talking about peeing on
You had to take it there, didn't you?
them. He took it there.
You said I want to see other people pee on each other. So
No, I
shit.
did.
You said I want to see.
But
Anyway, let's move on. You said you want to see somebody pee.
I didn't want to see anybody pee at all.
Me neither, dog. Me neither.
I didn't even bring up peeing. How did that shift onto me automatically?
The first joke you made was I want somebody else to pee on me.
No,
Or-
he
or-
said, Josh, come over here and pee on Porter's leg.
I did.
No, I asked, were you okay? Spider. No, I know that. But then your joke you made, we can fucking cut the tape back, dog.
Damn. I never brought up peeing on anybody.
No, he brought it up, and then you made a
Yeah,
joke.
and I made fun of what
Yeah,
he
you
wanted
did.
out of it.
That's what
There
I
was
said.
so much he wanted out of it.
That's what I said.
He wanted to watch somebody pee on me. You're weird,
That
man.
wasn't the case.
Yeah. Oh, now you're backtracking. You're such a liar.
I can't deny one of them. All right, first fucking return shop talk down. So
Do you want to give an outro or like a sponsorship thing? Or,
You forgot to ask him where
no, I'm not done.
oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, you just jumped in when I was trying to finish up. Though. Not your fault. What did you say, P?
You're on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna. So you told me you'd listen to one, but let me tell you real quick what we do. at the end, I'm
me
going to
tell
cover why we did this, and then everyone's going to tell the whole world how to look at their shit.
Listen to me
Are
now,
you with
hear
me,
me
kid?
later.
Somebody get this kid a fucking beer. He needs to loosen up. All right.
Louis, this balls on this kid.
We should write down the names and where they're from, and then at the end you can say thank you to each one. Well, as a recap.
Oh, yeah. For each.
Yeah, in case you don't remember them.
And I used to do it, but I would have them, the tabs like right in front of me where they couldn't see them.
Exactly. Well, Steve Boltz at Spotlight Tattoo. Shotsiegorman,
Deceased.
and then
R.I.P.
and then
Ham sandwich. So it's awesome power struggles. Anyway, first chop talk in the bag, and the reason we get together and do this, and the reason that we want to share these tattoos with y'all is because these tattooers are doing the illest shit. You know, a lot of people have a lot to say about what's going on in tattooing. Shut the fuck up and look at these tattoos, because you'll be just fine. If you're
You'll be just fine.
If you're complaining about
for what is.
anything that's in tattooing, just fucking look at these things and shut the fuck up. You're gonna make it. You're gonna be just fine, because these people right here are pushing the envelope. They're raising the bar, and they're doing shit iller than most. So that's why we get together and we do this shit.
I totally checked out for a second, and then he just started yelling, "Fucking look at this!" What's going on?
You know how I get down, bro. It's my favorite shit. And so the reason that we do this is to, if you haven't seen it, to open your eyes to it so that you can then visit these tattooers online, and then if possible in person, and support them. You know, you want to follow their pages, you want to get tattooed by them, you want to get merch from them, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because these, all jokes aside, these tattooers are raising the bar. So shouts to all of them.
Absolutely.
Mr. Connor, of course, follow Elijah's Bullshit on Instagram and anywhere you listen to podcasts. And Mr. Connor, tell them where they can see your tattoos.
You can see my tattoos on Instagram at AE Connor or at Alley Cat Tattoo in real life.
In real life.
In real life.
Tattoo
In
on
person.
Instagram. P, talk to him, son. Tell him what
Live
your
and
name
in
is.
effect.
You can find me at Any Porter in a Storm on Instagram, and you can find me at Alley Cat Tats.
Slinging paint.
Checking out, coming right back in, going, "Whoa, where are we yelling at?"
And that's a cut.